All right, lesson 15, dividing fractions by whole numbers. So I have the number 6 here, right? Now, just as I can divide a whole number by a whole number, I can divide fraction by fraction. So I can divide 6 very easily into 3 parts, right? So 6 divided by 3 is going to be equal to 2 because I have 2 in each of those parts. I can also divide fractions. So I can divide fractions into parts. So if I have half of something and I want to divide that half of something into 5 more parts, this is what it would look like. So there is half of a pizza there, okay? And then I've cut it up so that 5 people can have a slice each. Now, what would this fraction be? Well, I have to imagine that even though the other half is not there, it is still part of the fraction because you have to use the fractional total amount of pieces to come up with a denominator. And now I know that each person is going to have 1/10 of the entire pizza. So what I've done here is I have divided that half into 5 more pieces, and that means that everybody is going to get 1/10 of the pizza. Okay, so I have divided, this is in half. I'm going to divide into 3, so I'm going to divide half into 3 equal parts. So to do that, I can do this, right? I can just draw those lines straight across, and the half is divided into 3 equal parts. And that would be equal to 6, 1/6. Okay, so, or I can divide it like this. So I don't have to do lines this way. I can also do horizontal lines, right? And this would still be exactly the same. Okay, so moving on, we're looking at if I take, so I have half of something here, right? And I want to take that half, and I'm going to divide it into 3 equal parts. Okay, so that would be, divided by 3. Okay, and so that would give me 6, and that would be 1. Okay. But what if I only want to look at this part here? So I am just wanting to know what the lined section, the hash line section, how much that actually is of the whole entire whole. So that would be each piece is 1/6 of that whole entire whole. If I wanted to talk now about this section, obviously it wouldn't be 1/6, but 1 piece is that. Okay, now I have, let me make a thicker line here. I have a whole, and I'm only having half of that whole. So I have half of that whole, and I want to split my half up evenly into 4 parts. Okay, now, what is one of those parts? How much is one of those parts? So one of those parts is going to be 1/8 of the entire whole. Okay, so now what if I want to divide this into 7 parts, that half? One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, I need one more. I'll just do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so now I have the half, and I'm dividing it into 7 parts. And so now everybody that I share with is going to get one of those parts. And that is going to be 1/14. Okay, so right now I want you to pause the video, do question number 1 in your worksheet, and then come back. Okay, so welcome back. So this is one of the questions from your worksheet. So this is, I have 1/5, and now I'm going to divide into 3 parts. Okay, so that's that 1/5 in 3 parts, but that means that the whole thing is in 3 parts. So I have in total 15 parts in total, and then here, this is going to be the part that I'm looking at, that 1/5, and one of those 1/5s. Okay, so when I'm looking at this, the formula is 1a, so the 5 would be the a, divided by 4, the 3 is the 4, right? This is the 3 here, and this is the 5 here, okay? And then this would be ending up being 5 times 3. So I'm kind of hoping you already figured this out, right? So if I'm looking at these formulas, notice that this one is multiplication and this one is division. What do you notice that's different? And what do you notice that's the same? Okay, so the 1 here is remaining the same, right? Down here, what's changing obviously is the sign. And then where the b goes is changing. The a stays in the same spot, which is the denominator. The 1 is staying in the same spot, but b is changing. Why is this multiplication if this is division? Okay, so I'm hoping that you notice that when we multiply the denominator, okay, so if we're multiplying the denominator, it's how many parts that's being divided into. So as we keep dividing these parts, everybody's going to get a smaller and smaller and smaller piece. So by multiplying the denominator, the piece or the number is still getting smaller and smaller and smaller. It kind of fits what we know about division at this point. So this number is going, even though we're dividing, I know that like in younger grades, we say division, we're going to end up with a smaller number, but we will end up with a larger number in the denominator, but that means that the pieces are being divided up into smaller pieces. All right, so that's it for this video. Please go and work on your assignment.